Almost noon and Cappy's still in pajamas. Hey, kids, do you want to be like Cappy when you grow up? Yay! All right, get a 5 o'clock shadow, don't shower, wear your pajamas, and around noon, maybe go do something. Been hitting the gym regularly. Feels good. Dear Aaron, I hope you're doing well. Would like to convey my respect and appreciation for your invaluable Red Pill content on YouTube. I'm a 35-year-old male from the United Kingdom. My problem is what to do with my life, which up until now has gone nowhere because it's been ravaged and destroyed by previously undiagnosed, untreated mental health problems, specifically borderline personality disorder. If you're not familiar with this illness, it's a cluster B spectrum and is a subspecies of dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. You've likely met or dated at least one woman with it. Yes, I have. And I'm sorry, dude. I know it's going to sound horrible. I just don't care. I'll be more prone, but still suspicious of a man. I'll be more prone to believe a man, yet still suspicious that he has bipolar disorder. When it comes to women, it's shocking how the women that have had bipolar disorder in my life are all really good looking. I'm just wondering if it's like, no, you're just a grade A Kuantaha and a spoiled little brat and no one spanked you. And now you mask this as a disorder so you can claim you're a victim. Again, not saying these mental illnesses don't exist. But if you've watched me enough, dude, you know how already suspect I am of the entire psychology profession and all this. Yes, there's mental illness, but I'm wondering how much of it is. And I think we're going to get it, or maybe it just came from a really bad background. You know, maybe that's it. Is your dad not around? Let's do a correlation. People who have mental illnesses, dad's not around. Oh, is it sociological, not psychological, maybe? Oh, but we say we have the DSM-17. Lag. I'm going to assume intellectual honesty. You've likely met or dated at least one woman with it and run a mile because you've realized they're completely insane, although a stark majority of Western women now exhibit many of these behaviors at the trait level. Well, see, that's my point. What, half the female American population has bipolar disorder? Or they just spoiled rotten because their dads don't raise them, their dads aren't around to begin with, and the world just cannot their asses. Oh my God, women are, I wonder what's going to happen to a group of people that are all raised like Mark Dayton or Nancy Pelosi, with just money shoved up their ass and praise all the time. I wonder if they're going to be insufferable Kuantahahas at the end of that. Oh, but it's bipolar. Oh yeah, it's a mental illness. Yeah, they're not just spoiled little brats. No. I never went to college because even at the age of 18, I realized it was a waste of my time. Hey, you saved some time there. Instead of going straight to work, doing a few different jobs in my 20s before my mental health took a serious, sustained decline that culminated in a full-scale mental breakdown from which I was unequivocally ready to commit suicide. Although, now here's another interesting, and you're more of a knowledgeable person of this than I am, but I don't care whether you actually have a mental illness or your life was so bad. Once you get to the point you're contemplating suicide, you have a mental illness. Whether that was genetically, biologically, your brain was predisposed to have it or had it to begin with, or society was just so fucking shitty, or the environment was so fucking pampered, you're now an entitled really, it ultimately ends in mental illness. Although I was talked down from that particular incident, I spent many years drifting aimlessly, dependent on marijuana and antidepressants to keep me going. Okay, well, another point for my column. What if you just worked out? Where was your dad? Spent the last 3 years in intensive therapy, only seeing male therapists because females are worthless. He's pitching it right down the plate, guys. That's a reference to American baseball, not that communist version called cricket you guys have. How cheating is that? The bat's this wide. I have my bat. Yeah, you could hit anything with that. Quit antidepressants 2 years ago. Recently kicked my dependence on marijuana, and with the enforced self-sufficiency of the lockdown due to COVID-19, I'm more or less done with therapy as a necessity. For the first time in 35 years, I'm semi-functional, semi-emotionally stable adult who is able to contemplate the future to some degree. And may I point out, it was due to what you chose to do. You made the hard choices. It's like kicking addiction. Oh, I guess, marijuana and antidepressants were it. You had the inner strength to do it. Which is another point for me. It's like, well, did you really have this, or did you just have a bad? I mean, I don't know. Like most useless millennials, I live with my parents who, although I appreciate for their emotional support, are also like most boomers and have no clue about what life is like outside their generational gilded bubble. With no meaningful advice to give on the future, they help destroy with their myopic voting patterns. I mention this because I have no external pressures and few internal motivations to change my comfortable, hermetic existence. All right. Whatever your origins of mental illness, you've gone through hell. Okay, we can admit that. You're not like, okay, now I get my apartment in it, and I support. Give yourself a little bit of time, right? I'm not saying live at home forever, have the plan to get out of home, but when it's right. Let's not put yourself through even more stress. All of a sudden you slip back into addiction or whatever hellish existence, the mental nightmare you were in before. One step at a time. Because there are no external pressure, few motivation. I have zero interest in sex, dating, socializing, or fantasies of making lots of money because I'm done trying to be part of society just as corrupt and moribund as yours. Albeit in slightly different ways. I currently spend most of my time browsing red pill, black pill content on YouTube, making a science project of my health via diet and fitness. I consider myself above average in intelligence, but have no meaningful way to apply it because the modicum of talent I have is primarily creative in the literary field, finance, coding, practical trades, etc. I'm good at none of these. Oh, I see. You have it in creative literary field, but the finance, coding, practical trades, you're good at none of those and have no intention of wasting more time trying to fit my square peg into a round hole. I have no real qualifications. My resume has such a large hole into the years of illness that it's not worth the paper it's written on. I've long contemplated writing books, but as you rightly point out on your website blurb, this may never manifest and runs unfavorable odds of being a stable long-term career. You would also be right to say my current problem is apathy and laziness that I much know already. Okay, well, another point for Aaron. Financially, I have a modest income of roughly $5,000 a year from state disability to finance my day-to-day living. So with all this, what would you and also recommend I do from here on out? All right, dude, here's the problem. It doesn't matter what you like. I get this book. I keep hating. No, I don't really keep hating promoting my books because I make money. But there's a book in here, there's a chapter in here. Lazy people work twice as hard. Read through the whole thing. Life is not going to be easy. Even when it's on easy mode, it's not easy. You got to go do something. And you're like, well, I'm not good at this. Yes, I know. Every guy who took my dance class the first day, they weren't good because they never took a dance class. You have to put effort into something. And right now, for whatever legitimate reasons, you're a parasite on the taxpayer. You should have some shame in that, right? Do you want to live towards something? How about becoming an independent man? There's a goal. But the point is, you can't live life with no goal because you just listlessly go through it or listlessly go through it. So what you got to come up with something. And there's some simple key things that are just going to make you feel better, like not being a parasite, being self-supporting, having your own place in due time, right? You went through hell. You don't want to push it, but you do have to make some progress towards it. So there's some general universal things: your own place, your own life, your own career, your own money, your own hobbies. So those are just some general ones that don't speak to your career. But then your career, well, you got to do so. And you can't be lazy. You have to spend some time researching what you want to do. All these kids coming up to me, should I major in this or should I major in that? Should I major in this or should I major in that? I'm like, did you research anymore? No, I figured you do the thinking for me. Which, once again, if you want me to tell you what to major in, I will do that for the low, low price of 20% your lifetime pre-tax income. Because then I'm your agent. I'm telling you what to do. And there's nothing else to do. I mean, you got the time. Instead of watching red pill and black pill content, because that's not going to make you happier, by the way. The science project, that's okay. But this ain't the 8th grade anymore. What's the health science project going to do? That's not going to do anything. You need to spend more time binging on Matt Tran's channel, Engineered Truth. You need to go online and research what different types of jobs you'd like to do. And you could spend at least 3 months of near full-time work researching all the different things you could do for work. And that's your project. That'll give you that. What do I get up in the morning? Hang on, let me show you something. One of the keys to my success is this right here, my to-do list. And it's nothing, it focuses me. It says, okay, this all has to get done. That's got to get done. But what it also does is it gives me purpose and agency in the morning. I wake up, all right, what are we doing today, brain? Same thing we do every night, Piggy, try to take over the world. But if I don't have, I mean, really, I don't know. I'm sure I'm rarer in this case. Man, if I got nothing to do, I go into a depressive funk because there's nothing to effing do. You're completely worthless and pointless if you're not doing something. I don't mean a larger societal context, though that too, but to your own self. You got to find something to do. And your first thing on your to-do list, it should be find something to do. And some of these things, just like on my list, like the seminar I just put together, that took about 2 months, month and a half. It's not going to get done right away. It's going to take some time. Order bank checks. Okay, well, I'll do that. Read the Fook Files by Ryan Stone. I got to do that. Oh, I did the Rational Mail Review. I could cross that. Oh, boy, I get to cross that out. Boy, this is like my crack. I want to get to cross something out. There we go. Look at that. Really, something as simple as that. Just a to-do list for the day even. Though I have like this universal to-do list that keeps it up. But the number one, I can tell you this, it's like a computer. You get a blank computer. It needs an operating system. First thing you do is install it so it knows what to do. That's what you need. You need an operating system. So first, I'd start looking at your career. What do you want to do for a career? And keep in mind, this could be a decade-long path. You could want to go become a surgeon. Well, that's going to be quite some time. You may want to go into the trade. Might be 2 years. You may just want to go drive Uber, if they have that in the United Kingdom. But that's your first list is go. And then, what do you want to do for hobbies? What do you want to do for fun? Red pill, black pill content on YouTube. Good. I'm glad it helped you out. But man, don't bother with that anymore. Unless you enjoy it. But the black pill stuff, dude, even I have to cut that out. And that's my job. Go watch some cartoons. Go watch black books. All right, you can find, I think, on YouTube. Go get some exercise. Go kayaking. Go do a hobby. Take up ballroom dancing. Something that's just fun so that you have fun because it can't be all work. I consider myself above average in intelligence, but have no meaningful way to apply it. Failed. Because of the monicum I test, creative in the literary field. Yeah, the reason you don't have talent in finance, coding, or practical trades is because you didn't go to school or study them. Again, you're not born out of your mother's vagina like, oh, I could program Python. Look at that. You like some script? There you go. You have to choose it. You have to. And that's going to be not only choose what you want to do, study so you're qualified to do it. So you're going back to school, whether it's a trade school or you're teaching yourself online, you're doing it. But that's what you need. You need to figure out something to do. What would you do, asshole? Recommend I do out from here. You got to figure out what to do. That's your number one step. And don't worry if that takes months. I wish kids spent months before they declared their major, figuring out what they want to do, because then they won't waste 4 effing years in school. Like, I got to go back. Give me more money. All right. Dylan Joe for $5. Whiny emo band saved my life. 12-year-old. David Little, $2. Oh, finally found my Zen at the office. 3MO. 3 months? Get the fuck out. What does that mean? All right. That's it. All right. So there you go, buddy. You got a question, answer, hassle, whatever, that thing I do with the stuff. AssholeConsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.